So, how do you build a seven-figure email newsletter? So, if you've been around in the entrepreneurship space for the past, I don't know, a year or so, like on Twitter, on Instagram, you've been seeing email newsletters pop up, and there's a reason for it. And there's a lot of BS online. And I'm here to kind of burst the bubble. And first of all, let me introduce myself and why you should even listen to me about this topic. So, first of all, my name is Arnas. My name is Arnas Gintalas. You can check me out on Instagram. This is my Instagram account, personal. But I've built this brand called Passionate Income, and I've been doing so for almost 3.5 years now. So that's pretty much my experience in the media game. And also, I started the Passionate Income newsletter, and I've been collecting many, many emails through Instagram over here over the years. And I worked with brands like Morning Brew. I worked with brands like The Hustle, which are pretty much two of the biggest email newsletters in the business space. I work with many different brands who have a newsletter. I started my own newsletter. If you take just a gross, like how many subscribers I've gotten over the years, is around 100,000 subscribers, but I've cleaned the list, and when you clean the list, it's kind of like back and forth. You're at like 20,000, and then you completely clean the list, and now you're at 9,000 subscribers again. But gross, like I've had gained over 100,000 subscribers on Passionate Income newsletter, and then I helped other newsletters, and I worked with a bunch of agencies. I used all the famous tools you hear online if you are in the newsletter space. If not, I'll cover those very shortly. But pretty much, I've done this, all right? So I know what's been going on in the space. And by the way, I had an offer from one big newsletter to acquire my Instagram page, which has 1 million followers, right? So after I got that offer, I actually started my own newsletter because I realized, wait, if they have money to acquire me, it means they're making a lot of money. Let me get into it. And I actually started writing a newsletter even before it was cool, even before everyone had it, even before AI, right? Even before ChatGPT and all of that stuff. So, and I've been teaching people how to collect emails and how to give away free stuff. And also, I've been in the course space too, which means that, in the course space, people had email newsletters for like a long, long time. All right. So if you take someone like Tim Ferriss, he probably had a newsletter for like 20 years now or something close to that. And like in the digital marketing courses, selling information kind of niche, it's not a new thing. Okay. It's just that after, companies like The Hustle sold for like 25 million, and then Morning Brew sold for like 75 million, everyone started looking at it like, whoa, you can actually sell this audience. It's like an actual asset. It's like a real estate building, right? Like when you buy a building, it's a real asset. So is an email newsletter or an Instagram account. It's just digital, right? Maybe it's not so tangible as a real estate building, but you get the point, right? So, yeah, that's a bit about me, and I'll introduce you this kind of email newsletter opportunity, why I started looking into it. So, when I got the offer from a bigger newsletter company to get acquired, I was like, wait a second, I can actually, like start my own newsletter. Why not? And I had experience because like over the years when I worked with other newsletters as an, let's say, affiliate, or they just sponsored me, I brought them like 50,000 subscribers. And I thought 50,000 subscribers is not a lot, because I was looking up to the brands like Morning Brew, which had like 3-4 million subscribers. So I thought 50,000 is not that much, right? But then I started like realizing that other newsletters are popping up and they have like 20,000 subs and they're making money from it. So I'm like, wait a second. If I can drive traffic to like other brands, I can for sure drive traffic to my own brand and kind of grow it. And that's how it started. And then I kind of sat down, I took a sheet of paper and I started doing the math, right? I was comparing Instagram, faceless brand, all right? Because usually email newsletters are faceless. It's not like about one person. Yes, there are some newsletters, like Five Bullet Friday by Tim Ferriss, and like there are some personal brands, but like the ones that are sellable, they're usually just like a brand. It's not a person. So I was comparing a branded Instagram page to a branded email newsletter. And I realized that one email subscriber is worth 35 followers on Instagram. And I was like, wait a second. So you're telling me that I could probably make the same amount of money. And I'm talking like the same niche and everything. So you take an Instagram account with 1 million followers, which I do have, so I know the numbers behind it. And then you take an email newsletter with like 35,000 email subscribers, which are active and are like clicking stuff, and you can pretty much make the same amount of money. And to me, 35,000 emails didn't seem much because like I was affiliate also for like courses and stuff. And when you're an affiliate for a course, usually there's like an opt-in page there. So as an affiliate, in many cases, you cannot put like affiliate links directly. You need to have like a opt-in page to kind of bridge the gap because you can't use their domain name. Domain name needs to be hidden in their button. So what do? When someone clicks on the link, you say, you can't access this before you give me your email and your full name. And then they give you that, and it's called an opt-in form. And when they click the button, it redirects them to like the affiliate sales page, which you get your commission on. But you get that email and that full name. So when I would promote like different products, I'd collect like 10, 15,000 emails in like a few weeks, like nothing. And I was like, wait, so you're telling me that, in a few months I can collect the amount of emails and kind of replace my full-time income from just Instagram and kind of double it. That's how I landed on this opportunity. And, for the folks that are kind of wondering how I came to that number, is very simple. I took the amount of like clicks I usually get and the quality of clicks I get on an Instagram account. Like if I push it every day through posts, stories, stuff like that, and kind of did the math on the clicks there. And then I did the math on an active email list of the clicks of 35,000 subscribers. So I did like 40% open rate and I think 2.5 or 3% click rate, which is like, it's average, it's normal, it's like totally achievable. And, if you don't like that math, you can increase the number to like 50,000 subscribers. But the thing is, it's like, it's still mind blowing. Okay, let's say one email subscriber is equal to 20,000, 20 Instagram followers. It's still like mind blowing to me. So that's why I started a newsletter, and I started like meeting those people who are in the newsletter space and kind of talking to the people who are on Twitter talking about email newsletters. And I can tell you this, there's so much BS in the space. Like there's so much BS of people who have no clue what they're talking about, or they know what they're talking about, but they're just lying to you to sell like a service of how to grow a newsletter, or they're selling a course for like $1,000 to teach you just simple stuff. Like you can literally figure this out on your own. Just like subscribe to 10 different email newsletters and you'll get the gist of it. You'll know like 80% of what they're doing. So it's funny now that I think about it, but I started meeting those people and going and meeting on meetings and joining various communities of like newsletter owners. You know what? Like so much BS in the space. And, I worked with a lot of copywriters too. And I think to find a good copywriter is one of the best ways to get an insight into the space. So, um, I got connected to this guy, this copywriter, who worked as a copywriter in like various different industries for like 8 years or something like that, writing emails for like coaching gurus and digital marketers and stuff like that. And he reads a lot of these email newsletters, and he just gave me so many insights from like the digital marketing space, which no one talks about in the email newsletter space, because in the email newsletters you kind of sell an ad and that's how you make money, but that's not the best way to make money. It's just like it's kind of quick hit and run if you do that. But if you want to build a long-term brand and actually make like huge money, then obviously it's better to have your own product. But let me get into that. Okay, so first of all, how do you build one? So I kind of explained the opportunity of the email newsletter. Someone gives you an email, you send content to them like 3 times a week, right? Or 4 times a week, or some people send twice a week or once a week. But you just determine your schedule and you sell valuable content in that specific niche, right? So, first of all, what I would, suggest you to do is actually kind of set the time when you're going to do it and actually do it, because this is a long-term consistent game, okay? You're not going to become a millionaire from an email newsletter very quick, but you sure can if you just stick with it. That's the cool part about it, because you're building equity, you're building trust, you're building a brand. You can sell that brand one day, or you can do a launch of a course or a product, make a lot of money. But this is a long-term game, so you kind of need to carve out your calendar over here and realize that it takes time. Like you're probably going to start without a copywriter. You're probably, going to start without knowing anything. So you'll need to learn a lot and see what others are doing and kind of play around with the ads and organic stuff and, a bunch of stuff. So I would carve out, like, if you can, I'd say 3 hours a day, 5 times a week at first. So like 15 hours a week. And you can definitely build like a solid email newsletter with that. And that includes like, growth or marketing for the newsletter. That includes content. That includes like whatever monetization vehicle you choose. That includes everything. So first of all, make sure you set a time and day when you're going to send. How many times a week are you going to send? What kind of length are you going to send? For example, me, I send like a 3 to 5 minute read. So it's like from 500 words to like 1,000 words usually. And I send it 3 times a week. So I send it on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. You can choose whatever you want. And there's basically no rules. But I chose that because it was just comfortable for me. And then when you have the time, just think of a niche, and prepare yourself for opening a newsletter. So usually what you do is you open, your Instagram and you see what's going on your feed. You open your Twitter, you see what's going on in your feed. You open your TikTok and you just see who you're watching, what kind of content you're consuming. Maybe you already know what niche you want to be in. So kind of do the market analysis and see if there are any newsletters in that space and decide, do you want to be in the like a broad B2C niche? Do you want to be in a very specific B2B niche like waste management? I talked to one guy in the newsletter space about newsletters in like super niche B2B spaces like waste management, B2B, and all of your subscribers or like CEOs of waste management companies. You only need like 25,000 subscribers in that newsletter for it to be like incredibly valuable, like next level valuable. You can sell ads for like thousands and thousands of dollars every single time you send. But obviously, it's like so hard to find content there, and it's hard to find those people who would subscribe to that newsletter. So what I did is I started like a B2C broad newsletter about basically self-improvement and online businesses and just cool stuff I find online. And just look at stuff like if there are any Instagram pages around that niche. Are there any like newsletters which are existing? Just look at the growth potential. You don't want to tie yourself up unless you already are like a great marketer. So you prepare yourself for it. You find the time, you find your niche, you do the market analysis, and that's it. Pretty much, you go and you can Beehive is a very popular platform, but you can use like ConvertKit, or you can use pretty much any email sending software. It's just that Beehive became like the newsletter software now. But I used a bunch of different softwares over the years, and I can tell you, like, in terms of delivery and like email stuff, maybe it's not the best if you're selling your own products, but if you're selling just ads, Beehive is like the best for a newsletter. So yeah, I think Beehive is the way to start, or ConvertKit. I used both. I liked both. And there's like, of course, there are some on Substack, but I wouldn't do Substack. It's really hard to reach someone's inbox with Substack domains. So I'd much rather invest some money into a proper email sending software. And when you have that, you set up your time. Basically, you time manage when you're going to do it, when you're going to send it, when you're going to work on it. You determine your niche. You have an email sending software. You kind of have the backbone of the whole newsletter, because the tech stack is very simple usually. Like, you don't need to understand much of tech or coding or anything like that to start a newsletter. With Beehive, you get a website and a landing page like pre-built already for you. Like, you don't even need to create a form or anything like that. Like, it already comes pre-made. All you do is like you connect your own domain name, and that's it. And when you have that set up, you choose your content, right? So that's the hard part, where it's like when you start, you kind of need to be consistent, right? Let's say you decide to send twice a week. You want to be consistent, but then you don't have many followers or subscribers. So you're like, oh, I'm only sending to those like 80 people. It feels like kind of you're doing it for no reason, but you're actually getting better at writing those emails. You're getting better at, becoming like a good email newsletter manager. Start understanding what works well in the space, and a bunch of stuff. You just practice. It's like a practice run. When you don't have many subscribers, you practice, you get feedback from the same 80 people, like you ask them what you can improve upon, and you just build that shit up, honestly. So that's how you do it. And when you have the content going already, obviously you have your niche and everything ready. So then you absolutely need to grow. And there are so many ways to grow. You can do organic, you can do paid, you can do like collabs and stuff. So I'd say to get your first 1,000 subscribers, just do like stuff that's unscalable, all right? Like stuff that you cannot do 100 times. So just like go and send your newsletter to your 20 friends and ask them like, can you share this with your family and friends and everyone? I'm starting this newsletter. help me out. It will be super cool. Just stuff like that where, it's not scalable, but you can get your first 1,000 readers. And it's going to take some time. But after you have that 1,000 subscriber mark, then it gets much easier because you feel like, okay, someone's actually reading my content and I'm already getting some feedback. Maybe you're not making money, but you already see the potential of it. And then you can use, obviously, paid ads if you have the budget for it. If not, start creating content. Content is one of the greatest leverages you can pull. Like, it's so large because you can make a tweet or an Instagram post, and if it goes viral, of course you can't control it, but if it goes viral, you can gain like 10,000 subscribers. Like, I had friends with Instagram accounts, which are pretty big, and they would gain like 10,000 subscribers every time a post with a call to action would go viral. And they would gain a bunch of, followers and email subscribers. So that's how you do it with organic. And you can absolutely go with the paid route. So, and obviously there's platforms like Sparkloop, which I tested out, and obviously it works. But if you have any experience in the ads, like if you have experience with Facebook ads, Twitter ads, LinkedIn ads, any ads, I would suggest doing that. Also, there are like creator spotlight or something on ConvertKit, where it's pretty much the same thing as Sparkloop. Like basically every time someone comes and subscribes to your newsletter, they automatically subscribe to like 3 different newsletters. And when someone comes to those 3 different newsletters, they automatically subscribe to you. So what happens is you grow much quicker. Okay. But the problem in this space is people hear that and they think, whoa, that's insane. And how Sparkloop works is basically if you connect like Upscribe feature on Sparkloop, it's a company. Basically what happens, someone enters their email, presses subscribe, and there's a pop-up of like 5 different email newsletters, and they're pre-selected, and the button just says like, yes, opt me into these 5 newsletters or something like that. And when someone presses yes, your potential to get paid is like, let's say from $1 to $3 per every subscriber per newsletter. So that's where all the BS in the space starts, because people hear that and they think, wait a second. If I have 5 different email newsletters and I get $1 to $3 per subscriber out of every single one of them, then I get like $5 to $15 per subscriber per one email. And they start thinking that without testing that out. And I've seen people writing about it, and I've seen people making like YouTube videos about it, and they have no clue what they're talking about. And they're telling people like, look, you'll get $15 per every email or $8 or something insane every time someone enters an email here. And what happens is they tell you, well, you need to run Facebook ads. You get a subscriber on Facebook for $1, and then you refer that subscriber to your newsletter and all the other ones. And what happens is you get $15 or $8. I've seen some people say like $7. So that's absolutely not true. That's insane. It doesn't work like that, all right? And another thing is, do you actually want to promote other newsletters on your newsletter? Maybe at the start, yes. But where the BS starts is people start selling courses or start selling services where they say like, use Facebook ads, or I will bring you people with Facebook or Twitter ads, and you'll make all the money back with like referring to other newsletters. Where in fact, you will only get paid on when you refer someone if just an example, because there are many different criterias, but if you take a simple example, let's say if they subscribe to that email newsletter at least for 21 days, so they can't unsubscribe, they open 2 out of 3 emails they will get sent, and they need to be from a specific country, like let's say US, and then they will get accepted. Well, think about, most people won't open like every single email they get, especially if they subscribe to all 5. So in reality, the numbers are like, you're maybe gonna get like 80 cents or $1 if someone subscribes. So every subscriber that comes, some people will click no, like don't opt me in. So for example, if you get like 100 active subscribers on your list, you can potentially make like $80 maybe, depending on the newsletters you promote. And there's many variables, but I'm talking about a scalability. I'm not talking about you getting 5 subscribers a day and, oh well, you made like $8 and now you're telling me, well, I'm getting $1.60. No, I'm talking about scalability. If you're growing like 100, 200, 500 subscribers a day, you're not going to get anywhere close to like even $2. At a big scale, you're going to get maximum $1 depending on your niche. And another thing people don't get, you get $1. Let's say you get $1 on a good day at a scale. So you drove 500 subscribers to your newsletter. Some people clicked yes, some people clicked no. On average, out of all 500, you get like $1 per sub. So your dashboard says you just made $500 today. Congratulations. But when an actual payout comes, Sparkloop takes their fee. I think there's a Stripe fee. Don't quote me on it, but it's like maybe a percent or two. So basically, if you were to get like $500, in reality you would get like $390. And now the numbers don't work. Okay. So that's the problem in the space, because they say we can drive subscribers for $1 per sub and you'll make like $15 back, when in reality you cannot drive subscribers for $1 at a high scale. Like, it's impossible. I'm talking about a high scale. Okay, I'm not talking about, again, doing 5 subscribers a day. I'm talking in the hundreds. Okay, you will not gain subs at that. Like, if you're really good at ads, you'll be at like $1.50. Like, if you're really good at ads. And I've heard some people have it at like $1.30, but then after like a week it goes up. So if you're really good at ads, you'll get like $1.50. If you're trash, you're gonna get like $3, $3.50, and you're not gonna make your money back. It's a good way of kind of limiting your losses if you're doing the upscribe thing, the recommendation thing, but it's not what you see online. All right, it doesn't work like that. Like, if you could get 15x on your money every single day automated by someone just entering their email and pressing a button, every freaking company in the world would have a newsletter with that widget installed. Okay, if you could do this at scale, 1 to 15 ratio every single day, okay, because a subscriber comes and they click the button, it comes immediately. There's no shipping, there's no digital products, there's nothing. It's just an affiliate deal. If you can actually do it, and it would be possible to get even 10x ROAS, like just like that every single day at any scale, every company in the freaking world would be doing that, because it would be the easiest way to make money. Period. Okay? So don't get fooled by Twitter, or I don't know, like some YouTubers or whoever is sharing stuff. because they can tell you that. And I kind of worked with some guys. They didn't tell me that, nothing close to that, but kind of like I read too much Twitter, and I kind of, let's say it didn't meet my expectations. All right. The ad spend was too high. Whatever we collected was too low. It stopped making sense. When we started scaling, the ad cost just went up. So instead of spending like $20 and getting, 40 subscribers, we were spending like $100 and getting 50. So there's so many variable things over here in the growth section. But in my opinion, the best way you can do it is do it organically. It will take longer. It's not as scalable, but at first, before you start making money with the newsletter, do it organically and use the help of like the creator networks and referrals and cross promos and stuff like that. Just do that and try to capitalize on it as much as possible. And when you have like 10,000 subscribers, you can definitely start the monetization. And you know what? Everyone's talking about selling ad space on newsletters. You make the real money, the real money by having your own product, okay? And it's like real money. I'm talking about money per subscriber. Like if you have 5 million subscribers, obviously you can sell ads and make so much money, but it's very hard to do that for, an everyday person. But with like 10,000 subscribers or 20,000 subscribers, it's much easier to sell your own product. It may be like a consulting service, it may be a course, uh, anything you can think of. It may be a software, but you can make way more money by having your own product. And I see many companies getting closer to doing that more and more. Like I saw a company which had a newsletter about trends, okay, like what's trending in the business world. And basically, they had a newsletter which was like really good about trends, and they had a software about trends. Okay, so you kind of would read their newsletter, and they're saying like this week that's what's popping off. Let's say TikTok Shop is like doing a big wave in the market. And then if you want to sign up for their software, it's like $99 a month, and you can track like these little, keywords and stuff and see what's moving up and down. So I think that's the future for a lot of these software companies and also course sellers, because what happens with email is email doesn't limit you. I mean, they limit you. You can't send like 10 emails a day like you can on Instagram story. You can do 10 stories a day. The thing is, with Instagram, you'll reach like 10% of your followers, at best, at a large scale. And that's only like reach. So only like 1% of people will engage or so on a good day, okay? Where like with an email newsletter, 40% or 50% of people will engage by opening an email and actually like reading it through. And, of those people, maybe like 3% will click it. And clicking the link, like on Instagram, it converts very bad if you compare it to a newsletter. So my conclusion is this: start a newsletter. It's very simple. Doesn't take too much time. You'll learn so much, and it's an asset you can like ride with. If you have like a good email list, you can always have money. One of my mentors told me the day I hit 100,000 subscribers on my email list, I knew I was never going to be broke again, which is kind of like a cool saying, right? But like literally, you can probably make anywhere from 10 cents to 50 cents some people say $1, but it's like if you have an incredibly active email list, active email newsletter. But I'd say if you have like a general one, like general broad email newsletter, you can make anywhere between 10 cents and 50 cents per email subscriber per month. Okay, so if you have like 100,000 email list, you can probably make, like on a low scale, $10,000 a month. It would be like super low, and your email list is probably just full of bots and it's dead. And it can definitely make $50,000 a month if you do it the right way and you sell a product. And it can make more, but like I said, your email newsletter needs to be incredibly active, and it can make $1 or $2 a month, at that point. Um, that's it. Go ahead, follow me on Instagram. I'll be sharing more stuff over there.